this generation of learners, they're digital natives. They have never seen the analog world. They have never held that phone where you have to punch in the keys. They are in a world of mobile phones and hyper connectivity, Snapchats, Instagram, Facebook. So their exposure is so broad, and they're just learning about the world. So then, considering all these points, given how technology is an integral part for these learners, how do you think that it can be included in education, in learning by schools? And any experiences that you have had, how you are integrating in your school, for example, in the past or in your current role? Can you talk about it a little bit?
The first thing that I think we need to learn as educators is their language. And for me, for whatever, there's a confusion between who's a Gen Z, who's a millennial, and which is the new word that's coming up. There's something new in the market.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand that. And I'm like, oh, okay, there's a new word. So first challenge is that. I think the most important thing for us would be to learn the language of the children. That's very, very important. Secondly is to recognize that they are digital natives. So while most of us still operate on pen and paper, and we kind of like to transfer our thoughts first on that and then we type it out, these are kids who are more and more kind of comfortable with just going onto the machine, working with it.
Right.
They work in a world which is very virtual. They'll pull out things that they need and they try to make something of it. But I feel that the core purpose of a school now has become is that look at the human skills, the human component of these children. See, there has been no innovation without compassion and empathy. And one of the examples that I would like to give is that the first prosthetic that was created, the prosthetic limb that was created by a group of students from Harvard, because they saw somebody limping without a leg and they thought, oh, how can we improve this person's life? And from empathy arose an idea, and then the blueprint was formed and the first prosthetic came into existence. So at heart of innovation lies compassion and empathy, the human value.
Correct, yeah.
So one of the key things would be that we need to nurture the human values and not bring the human values to students through apps. The apps took them away. Let's not use apps to bring them, but let's, again, I would say, embody the values. Showcase these values. And this is not just a school's role, but also the parental role. So show these values to children. How do they look in real life? What is empathy in real life? The difference between an empathy and sympathy is also something that we need to drive home to them, because the concept of self-love and self-protection must be there, especially because children are exposing themselves to the social world so much. They're socially available at all times. Second job that this word I think takes me is that we need to teach them how to draw a line between becoming overexposed and over-available to retaining their privacy, which is very important, considering that the world is becoming, in terms of cybersecurity, there's a big threat in the world. We need to also teach them how to protect themselves living in this world. The third thing that I want to say is that, yeah, you use technology, but then how do you want to use it? And to what end do you want to use it, right? And there comes in the role of ethics. We have great tools like AI, ChatGPT, etc. In an IB school, using things ethically is something that we teach to children right from the time they are in their primary years. Because academic honesty and plagiarism are two words that they are exposed to from the time that they are 6 years old. So they do understand that there is something called academic honesty, and as they grow through the years, it becomes a part of their existence. So it's very important. I wouldn't say that students don't try and engage in things that are probably not within the realm of these tools, but they also need to see that how useful is this thing for me. You are bringing them, let's say, ChatGPT was a huge thing last year. Everybody was talking about it. Yeah. And I attended a forum where we had lots of educators. It turns out that only me and a young teacher who was just about 31 or 32 were the two people who knew it. And the others were kind of amazed. And how do you know about it so much? So I said, yeah, we engage with it. Because just before that, 5 minutes before, I heard people talking about things like prompt engineering. And right, the world is going through the Bani world, the VUCA world, and I'm hearing words. And then I think, well, the acronyms are here to stay. But what does it actually translate into for students? what is this tool about? What is a ChatGPT all about? Until and unless we have a mindful engagement with these tools, we would also not be able to bring them into our student life effectively. So that is one thing which I would say. So professional development for me becomes very important. People need to develop their skills and competencies around the tools and not feel threatened by them. So that aspect also needs to be taken care of. And then, well, the last I will come to the Yuval Noah Harari's book, The 21st Century Skills. Everybody seems to have a copy of it somewhere tucked in their office. But then, and we then talked about the 6 C's and what they are.
Right.
But then, actually, you see, creativity is not, I don't see creative innovation as something that you create a product that is kind of unique. Creativity is all about devising solutions for day-to-day challenges. At that, there lies the human ingenuity. You cannot disregard human ingenuity by just bringing in a machine, because it was the human ingenuity that created the machine. And it is the same that is creating the AI that we are using it. So that one thing that I would like to say is that just as our students tend to have a lot of misinformation and disinformation, we are also exposed to the same. And very consciously, we have to engage with separating the fact from the fiction and use the fire wisely for our students.